Look, we are just 2 weeks away from the mayoral election in New York City. And of course, the front runner is Democrat Zohran Mamdani. And he's making it no secret that if he is elected, which he's likely to be, he'll be putting taxes up and up. He was asked about this on Fox News. Let's take a listen.
So a lot of individuals in this city pay more than 50% of their income in taxes. When you talk about a fair share, how much more than, what is the fair share? What's the number?
I've said that we should increase personal income taxes by 2%.
Is fair?
And my point is this:
give up more than half of your income. That's
if you're making $1 million in New York City or more than that, you can afford to pay 2% more. And the reasons you can afford to do so is because that money will be used to better your quality of life as well.
As Margaret Thatcher famously said, the problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. But Zohran Mamdani has also come under fire for posting a photo and smiling arm in arm with Imam Siraj Wahaj, who's been accused of having ties to terrorism. Yet Hilary, Mamdani is expected to win this election next month. Can I get your reaction to his comments about putting taxes up and up on Fox News?
Well, I can tell you who's really happy about that, Gabriella, and that's all the realtors in Florida, because more New Yorkers are going to leave and they're going to go to Florida. Miami is now a booming financial center. Who would have ever thought that New York City would no longer be the financial center? The amount of businesses that have moved down there is absolutely astronomical. And then I would say also with regard to crime, he isn't advocating for more police on the streets. All the things that he just said there with regard to raising the taxes 2%, those aren't things that he's also promising. He isn't. And I do think that the Jewish population in New York City should be very concerned, absolutely concerned, because you just mentioned who he had with him. And he has also even said, as an imam, he preached saying that he wanted marches of 10,000 people. And he's talked about obviously he's very anti-Semitic. And I think Jewish people in New York should be extremely concerned.
Yeah, I think they are. Now, US Vice President J.D. Vance is on his way to Israel to meet with Benjamin Netanyahu to oversee Trump's ceasefire deal in Gaza. Now, the president has made it clear that they will be eradicating Hamas if they have to. Here's Donald Trump.
We made a deal with Hamas that, they're going to be very good, they're going to behave, they're going to be nice, and if they're not, we're going to go and we're going to eradicate them if we have to. They'll be eradicated, and they know that.
Hilary, Steve Witkoff also gave an emotional interview after securing the release of the living hostages that are now finally back with their families. Let's listen.
How are you feeling when they come out?
Elated. And I was thinking to myself, what would I have felt like when I got the call from Cedars-Sinai Hospital that my son had died? If the call from them was, he didn't die.
Oh, God.
We revived him. And these people were all getting that type of call. Their kids were coming home.
You can see that it is such a powerful moment for Steve Witkoff and really such a huge part of his life's work, getting those hostages home, Hilary.
Yes, it absolutely is. And just linking these two stories, when I mentioned about Jewish New Yorkers should be scared about Mamdani, in the US, 73% of Jewish people vote for the Democrats. I just hope that they're watching and they're paying attention to this, because President Trump has done more for Israel, more for the Jewish people than any other president in recent memory. And Steve Witkoff, yes, you saw that emotional testimony there. He means this from the bottom of his heart. And is there any parent who wouldn't want their child returned to them? So I think what he's done, what Jared Kushner did, they went there together. They went there to secure this. I think it's absolutely wonderful. And I hope, as I mentioned, every single Jewish voter is looking at this, and all those Jewish voters that vote for the Democrats realize it's President Trump that's accomplished this.
Absolutely. Now, finally, former Joe Biden White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre has unleashed on the Democrat Party in her new memoir, explaining why she decided to ditch the Democrats altogether and become an independent. Now, she wrote about Joe Biden and how he was essentially pushed out of the race last year, and she wrote, "I was angry and sad and was enraged and heartbroken that this man had given more than 50 years of his life to serving the American people, and in the end, he'd been treated poorly by members of his own party. It was horrible." I mean, Hilary, it's interesting reading these comments coming out of her memoir, because we've just heard really Kamala Harris blasting the Democrats as well in her book, 107 Days. And Karine Jean-Pierre, Kamala Harris, neither of them are really helping the Democrats right now.
No, they're not. And I look at it as sort of like the Ides of March, A2 Brutai, because I look at it as another stab, right? I mean, the Democratic Party, this is the last thing they need. They need everyone on board because they're sinking in the polls. They're not doing well at all. And I do think they don't have much of a future because who's the leader of the Democratic Party? Who are they going to put up? It's purported that obviously Kamala is thinking about running for a national position again, and she didn't win any of the swing states, any of the popular vote, the electoral college. So I think this is very bad. And Karine Jean-Pierre, I mean, what she's saying is actually the sentiment of a lot of Democrats, and they're split, divided, and they're a divided party across the nation, and that's one of their problems.
Hilary Fordwich, president and founder of Strelmark, thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure, Gabriella. Thank you for having me.